Sitting in with my man, Coach Ragsdale. Coach, first of all, how are you doing personally, brother?
Oh, doing good. How about you?
Doing all right.
Well, I used to think my dad says all the time, it's better than I deserve.
Yeah, that's true.
That's for sure.
Hey, with the state of the world nowadays, we're above ground and walking, so that's a positive.
Right.
Start right there. I mean, that's definitely a positive nowadays, especially the way this world's going. Coach, last week you went out there, you played Woodville. You knew this was going to be a formidable opponent. What you did not do is have a crystal ball to predict you're just going to have some guys go down in some key positions, which is going to make that tough road trip even tougher.
Yeah.
Talk to me about last week, Coach. You guys come up on the short end of the stick. I know you had some guys go down. I don't ever talk about injuries. You're welcome to because you're the head coach, but you just things, just didn't go in your favor, so to speak.
Yeah, it was one of those deals when we came in from stretching, and you had that long road trip, and I felt like we were a little dead. And I told the guys that, hey, look, this is what's about to happen. You're gonna go out there, and you're gonna be dead, and you're not gonna bring your energy to start the game. You're gonna find yourself in a hole. We're down 13-0 after 2 drives. We drove and stalled out inside the 20 twice. Didn't come up, and man, I come back, and at the end of the game, we ended up losing by 2 scores. So I felt like that slow start got us. And yeah, we had some different guys that had to step up and play some different positions, and that's part of it. And I tell them every day and every week, I always say, hey, you never know when your number's going to be called. You always got to be ready to step up and play just like the man in front of you. And I told them, hey, here we are. We don't just say that. Now we get a chance to see if you mean it, because some of you guys are having to get through in the fire real quick. And but all that aside, I felt like, the way we started the game, wasn't happy with. But after we got going, man, I was proud of our kids' effort. We fought, to get back in the game, down 13-0. We fought to get back in the game. After halftime, they get the ball first and score in 3 plays. We come back and answer it, and just, kids never quit, never laid down. That slow start got us, and we just never could have overcome that.
Coach, when you have guys go down, we talked about this off the camera. You're losing 3 positions, and not only that, you're losing workhorses and guys that have gave you production, not just this year, over the last several years. You don't replace that. It's hard to replace. And you can coach people to the cows come home. You got to be ready, whatever. But no, you have to. I mean, this classification, talk about that.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's small school ball. If you lose guys, veteran guys, experienced guys, it's hard to. It's impossible to replace that experience, like I said. But again, on that same note, I was proud of our kids that stepped up and had to move a couple kids around, and I was just proud of the way that our kids stepped up and then give that effort, fought to the end.
Coach, next question I got for you is, when you come back and you get to assess a game like that, there's good things, bad things that you're going to see on film, but now you got to battle being a doctor, an orthopedic doctor, to get some of these guys ready. I think that one may be tanking out on you, but go ahead and swap, put it up there, have double ones. But now you got to be an orthopedic doctor and try to worry about that and focus on getting these guys back. But at the same time, they're not getting the reps in practice, so it makes that injuries carry over into this week. Even if you do get those guys back, it makes stuff extremely difficult. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, really, we've took the next man up mentality, in a couple spots that we may be banged up a little bit, but we came in yesterday and had a game plan in place and told the kids expectations, and we're rolling at it like a normal week, best we can.
I've noticed, Coach, y'all done a win-loss and a win and a loss. Have you talked to the guys about that? About, hey guys, we got to snap this trend right here.
Yeah, well, I hadn't really even thought about that. It's just, it's just win.
Yeah, keep the foot on the throttle.
Yeah.
Who we got this week, Coach?
We got Valley Head coming into town, so they're coming to us.
How good is that? First of all, to have some.
Yeah, to be at home after a long road trip, and after last week, just the way things didn't turn out in our favor Friday night, it's good to be able to come back home and play in front of a home crowd against it's an athletic Valley Head team. And, Coach Hammond's going to coach them hard. They're going to play hard. And you know what you're going to get. It's going to be a tough game.
This Valley Head looks a little different than the previous few years. Used to, there's more line heavy, up front heavy. Now, they still got pretty good linemen, but now they're skilled. They're kind of loaded in skills, kind of an inverted Valley Head. And they've been trying to find their footing, and they seem to have found it. And they've showed spurts where they were really good and really dangerous looking. But what have you seen from them on film?
Yeah, it's last year, we battled just a slobber knocker early on in the season. Just both had big kids, and it was just tackle to tackle, grinded out type game.
Good old-fashioned high school football.
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere, good game last year, and we both look a little different this year. Them going a little different scheme, going more of a spread. They're in trips and spread, using the athletes that they got. And they got quick linemen. They go hard. Still, again, they're gonna play you hard. You can get that from them. But yeah, a lot different than last year. Both of us in the scheme aspect of it.
Coach, you've played some teams with different, skill sets, different formationally, different. What have you learned about your team and watching them have to counter what these guys are doing? Because, you look at Woodville, they got some sleepy good athletes at Woodville.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
But you've played some teams here, and you're sitting here, and y'all played some really good teams with some really good skill. Pleasant Valley is was in a top 5 2A matchup last week against Pisgah and fought their guts out, minus a couple plays there that cost them. But what have you learned about your group watching them go against all these different skill sets?
Well, especially when you got some young kids on the field. I tell them every week. I tell some of these guys they're getting better every week. And when you have to play a different style week to week, and game plan, especially defensively, it changes based on who you're playing. That to me that speeds up the experience of these young kids because they have to learn real quick in practice. You do a lot more talking, defensively especially. So I think it helps increase your football knowledge a lot more. Seeing all these, you see these heavy sets, spread sets, double wing, whatever. You got a choice: either grow up quick or get left behind.
That's right. Now, here's another question. A couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here, Coach. I know you're dying to get back in the classroom. Practice when you are banged up like this. You don't want to lose your edge physicality-wise, but you definitely, last thing you want to do is get somebody hurt at practice. How do you judge that, and how do you juggle that and make that work for you?
Yeah, you make some minor changes, but at the end of the day, we keep doing what we're doing, just because it's that mentality of step up and fill a man's shoes, So, yeah, that you got to definitely tweak some things because if you're missing a couple kids or one kid, sometimes you got to do a little more teaching than you do the physical part of it sometimes. But there hadn't been a ton.
Contact-wise is about the same? Or?
Yeah.
I got you. How often do y'all go full pads?
2 days a week.
2 days a week.
Yeah.
I got you. I know every team's different. I know some teams don't go any full pads. I know some that go shell and 1 day full pads. So, it makes sense. But I'm with you on that. I think as the game's gotten quote unquote softer, is what old heads will say.
Yeah.
The teams that does bring the physicality is usually the ones that win. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess that depends on your style of play. What system you're in. But obviously we, big thing that we do is a power football. So if you're not a physical team, you're not gonna be able to do that.
That's right. Yeah. and you got to hit at each other in practice to replicate that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Coach, there's a million things going on with the team now, but I always like to kick it back to you to close it down. I know obviously getting guys healthy, preparing this week for another very good football team. Every week y'all have played this week, y'all have played somebody that's legit. And I don't think that's changing anytime soon.
No, and I said it early on. There's not a game you look on your schedule this year and really you just go, chalk it up as a win.
Yeah.
We played tough teams, through 4 weeks. Our kids had to fight every game we've been in. So that's one of those aspects. I hope this week to see our kids get better this week in some aspect of the game. That win or lose, I think even in the losses that we've had, we've got better in some area of our game.
Right. That's what you want. You want to get better each and every week, and then play the 10 games for a chance at an 11th, and then you go from there.
Yep.
That's what high school football is all about. Coach, and I appreciate you sitting in with us again as always, and a lot of people's been watching these, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I've had a lot of coaches that tells me they're like, man, we had no idea they had to go through this, like at the smaller A levels.
Oh, yeah.
Like with personnel and stuff, and I'm like, bro, you need to watch some of these interviews, and some of the guys they've like, man, they got to battle that and this and that, and he's got to paint the field.
Yeah.
We just show up, coach football, and go home, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't moved up though. You know, we got one of those turf tank robot.
Oh,
things,
do you?
You know, yeah. So
Dude,
we're
those
going
things
up.
are awesome, dude.
Oh, it's a life changer.
They're awesome, man.
Sure.
They're legit. Coach, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.